Hello again.
Round two.
Oh my god, I'm too hot. I'm gonna have to move you there. Okay, how is everybody? So, welcome to How to Channel, week number 4. Is that looking any better? It's looking slightly better, Mum. Check it out. Does that look alright?
Yeah, that looks okay.
Okay.
Can't find.
Right.
Can't find.
Let us know when you've jumped on then. Hello. My name's Amy. This is my lovely mum, Claire.
Hi everyone, I'm Claire, Amy's mum.
During these live streams, we talk about the various different ways that you can learn how to channel. So I am a light language channel and an activation guide and a quantum hypnosis practitioner. And Mum, do you want to just say what you do?
Ooh. Yes, I am Claire Lusty Angel Medium, so I give readings. So what I do is I do sittings, which is bringing in your loved ones and bringing messages through from heaven, from the spirit world, and also a tarot reading. I also do angelic Reiki healings and angelic Reiki attunements. So we have a workshop on the 21st, 22nd and 23rd of June. This is for the Masters level attunements for angelic Reiki. So, and also I teach tarot if anybody's interested. Just send us a message really. Okay, Amy?
So yeah, I've got an offer on Beyond Quantum hypnosis sessions. That's going to end on May the 31st. So if you would like a quantum hypnosis session, so this is a modality where you can go to past lives, multidimensional lives, and it's all with the purpose of exploring your consciousness to bring healing, manifestation and clarity into this life and yeah, on your path and purpose ultimately. So let us know if you do have any questions as well on YouTube if you are watching this later on. Okay, so today we're going to talk about developing or activating your clairvoyance. So last week we talked about activating clairsentience, which is the clear feeling ability. So we all have psychic abilities. And last week we talked about clairsentience. So we're going to go through each one each week and we're going to cover the various different ways which you can activate your spiritual gifts. So Mum, do you want to start off with that then?
Yeah, I will have to look at my laptop because I've lost it completely now.
Right, just don't worry about
so well
it then.
And it disappeared. So first of all, we'll explain what exactly we mean by clairvoyance. So clairvoyance is the ability to receive messages by visualization. So this can come in many ways. So this can be, just let me do this. I can't
Just don't worry about it.
So I lost my train of thought.
Just
now.
don't worry about it.
Blinking laptops. So what did I just say?
You're talking about activating clairvoyance.
Right, okay, so clairvoyance basically is the gift of being able to see. So when we think of clairvoyance, we think of people who can see spirit physically. So this is actually extremely rare, being able to, especially when you're doing readings, is being able to see spirit physically. But actually, it isn't as rare as you may imagine, because spirits do show themselves and so do angels, but we don't always realise. So that's what it means. It actually means, broken down, clairvoyance means clear and show you that actually most people are receiving, in fact everybody in the whole world is receiving messages clairvoyantly. So as I said before, we tend to think of this as seeing a spirit, but this can mean many things. Messages come in all ways visually. So what it actually means is I talk about this a lot, is when you imagine, when you're by yourself and you're thinking about lots and lots of different things, Usually if you're at work, you're thinking about work, but every now and then a random thought pops in, like, oh, or you start thinking about 6 or 7 different things, like what we're doing for dinner, what we're going to wear tomorrow, I'm going out tonight, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do the other, and so on. So, and then all of a sudden you might get, I'm going to use a robin. Let's say a picture of a robin pops into your mind. And most of the time you dismiss it because you're focused on the front thoughts, the thoughts about your daily life. So if you can train your mind to home in on that thought. It's like saying, hang on a minute, why did I suddenly get a picture of a robin? What does this mean? So it can be anything clairvoyantly. It can be absolutely anything. You may get a number, but you see it visually. You may get a tree. You may get all kinds of things, but suddenly see them visually. You might suddenly start visualizing an old film that you've seen, or anything. And suddenly, yeah, because it's visually. Suddenly, if a person comes into your mind, you suddenly see them. Let's say a friend who you've not seen for a while, you suddenly get a picture of them in your head. This is definitely a message and something that you need to act on. So it's sent by your guides, it's sent by the angels, and it's like homing in on it and saying, instead of dismissing it, think about it and think, why am I receiving this picture in my head? Why am I suddenly seeing in my head my friend? So it's definitely a message. Is contact them? Are they okay? So it's about thinking, why did I receive the robin? Why am I thinking about this old film? Why am I seeing all these things? You might suddenly see an animal, a squirrel, or any type of an animal. You might suddenly a crocodile. It could be anything. But that's the message. It's about thinking about, why did I receive that when I wasn't thinking about anything to do with jungles or anything to do with birds? Why did these things suddenly appear in my mind? Because they seem as if they're unconnected to anything that I'm doing. So we need to understand that we've been receiving messages clairvoyantly since the day we were born. Absolutely, everyone has been receiving messages clairvoyantly.
And it's an ability that we are born with, I believe, isn't it? But
we are born with it.
It's shut down, like...
It isn't so much shut down as in it's not talked about. We don't understand what's going on. So our mind starts to only concentrate on certain things. So we talk about channeling all the time. It's learning how to channel all the clairvoyant messages that are coming to you, because there are literally hundreds coming through a day, and they might seem like random thoughts, random pictures, and make absolutely no sense. And this is where, because to get our attention, you know, in the thousands of thoughts that we have, your guide may put one picture into your head. Sometimes it's just a test, actually, to see if you're even paying attention. Because you might suddenly see a rose and then just ignore it completely, because they're filtering through so fast. But when we start to understand that, hang on a minute, why am I thinking these things, and bring them to the thought of your mind and think, what was that? What did I just see? It wasn't related to anything I'm thinking about. What does this mean? You are then channeling. You are beginning to channel just by doing that. So we're going to talk about ways. Do you want to add anything to that, Amy? Anything that you...
I think the thing that's coming up, I suppose, as you're speaking about that, this is like, and then it's almost like, then it's confirmed by divine synchronicity as well, which is part, I guess, of, you know, psychic abilities and psychic gifts, is that like we tap into something and then it seemingly manifests on the external, but really it's all divine synchronicity because it was all lined up anyway. So for example, like last night I was lying in bed, so I'll be like lying in bed at night and I can literally close my eyes, and as soon as I close my eyes I'm like seeing shit. So I'm lying in bed last night and I can see this like alien thing with this like big head, and it's beautiful, and I've got like this like feeling of connection with it and like wisdom, and it's like infinite intelligence, like ultimate intelligence, and it looked great, and it had like a third eye thing. And then as I was scrolling on my feed this morning, somebody, my friend Ascension Art, she'd drawn a painting and it popped up on my feed and it looked exactly like what I'd seen last night. And I messaged her and I was like, oh my God, I was talking to this being last night. And she was like, yeah, other people say that all the time. And I was like, oh my God, do they? So it's like, that's an example of kind of like how clairvoyance works and how divine synchronicity works as well.
Hand in hand, yeah. Absolutely, yeah. So children are absolutely amazing at this. So if you have little ones, watch them, because they use their clairvoyance all the time. Because many of them have imaginary friends. They see things all the time. Children are amazing, up to about the age of 5, perhaps beyond. Because many children are stay awake. They are staying awake now because it's talked about and accepted a bit more, and children are just, they are completely different nowadays. I know I sound old, but they are different. But watch them. Watch how they play with imaginary friends. And then ask yourself, are they actually playing with imaginary friends? If this child is 3 or under, are they actually seeing something? So we need to listen to them. Listen to them and just say, who are you talking to? And then you will find out. But we've been doing this, because everybody has, all along. So it's so important to recognise when your guides and angels are sending you messages. So we need to think of a few more examples, really. So, for instance, being a medium, how it works with me is, when I'm doing a sit-in, I will literally get pictures of faces or people coming into my head. I can see them clearly.
Does it feel like for you, and I'm going to try and explain how it kind of is for me, it's like there's a projector on my mind, and it's literally like I can close my eyes and it's like, you know, say you're watching Netflix and it's like it's projected there. It's like I don't make it happen, it just happens. Is that how it is for you?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, I visualise a screen now, just so Archangel Michael, with the help of my guides and the angels, I ask for a screen and I visualise it as the curtains opening and spirit coming down. But years ago, I mean, I had this, it never closed down with me. I did have imaginary friends. I used to talk to people. I've always seen people, and then it closed down at a certain age when I became fearful. It never went away. It's just I stopped homing in on it. But all through my life, you may or may not relate to this, but I call it the party in the head.
Yeah.
So when you've been at work, you've had a really busy day, you maybe gone through town, you know, a busy city centre, and loads of people are passing you and you're not taking in any of it because you just want to get home, have your tea, put your feet up, listen to music or whatever it is you want to do. But you lie down at night time, and because this is when the angels and especially your guides know that you're not busy anymore, they will do their utmost to get through to you. So instead of wanting to, want to sleep, it was just, with me, it literally was the party in the head. And I had this, I remember it, I've suffered insomnia all my life. Not as much now that I am channeling and now that I am fully embracing mediumship and I understand it all. But up until then, it was 45 years of insomnia because I was, I had so many people coming in front of me, and I used to think, why am I seeing so many faces flashing in front of me? What is this all about? Because I don't remember seeing any of these people today. I don't know any of these people. So I just used to think, oh, it must just be that I've somehow subconsciously taken in people who've been passing me. But later on I started to realise that no, this literally was people in spirit showing themselves to me. So it's about taking a few minutes, because obviously we talk about this a lot, is taking a few minutes just to think, well, hang on a minute, if you're, you know, what's this all about? Could this be spirit? Am I receiving messages? What does this mean? Why am I suddenly seeing this strange object? Angels will, and spirit, but mostly angels, will send lots of different things in your mind. For instance, Archangel Metatron likes to send symbols. So he'll send you pictures of strange shapes, things whirling round, all kinds of things. So it's homing in on, well, hang on, what am I seeing? So filter out all the rubbish thoughts and try and bring it forward to the front of your mind, because quite often they're like that and they're gone.
And the thing is, the more that like you do this, the more that it's almost like a focusing, but an allowing and a letting go.
It is
at
allowing.
the same time.
Yes.
It's like you're focusing on letting go.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
If you're fearful as well, if you're fearful, you will not be able to channel properly. It's just about relaxing and saying, oh, this is exciting, what's happening here? Because you are not in any danger. You know, your guides and your angels are doing this. So they are desperate to get messages to you. But when they realise that actually you're beginning to notice they are delighted. They are so happy because now they're beginning to reach you. And many of us are on the earth today. We talk about this every week, is specifically for the purpose of healing the earth. We are here. And I talk about the silent ones, so I'm going to talk about them for a couple of minutes as well. Is the silent ones are people who are deeply spiritual, who are receiving messages, aware that they're receiving messages, but they may not be practitioners like healing practitioners. But this doesn't mean that they don't have a purpose, because their purpose actually is just to connect. Just to connect, and that's it.
Yeah, and some people are here to like anchor the light, right?
Yes.
And their job is just as important as those that who feel called to be a practitioner or whatever, because we are all healers.
Yes.
So whether you actually do call yourself a practitioner or not, everyone is still just as important, you know, because I have people that come to my quantum hypnosis sessions and they're like, what's my purpose? Like, I feel like I should be doing something and I don't know what I'm doing. And then it comes through in the session that they are here just to literally be here.
To be the light.
To be the light, like in their community, for their family, you know, they're here to be a mother, like do you know what I mean? They're here to be a good, beautiful human being that like emanates and radiates his light. They don't need to be a practitioner or a coach or whatever. They are here to do exactly what they're doing, and that is just be. So that's a really beautiful thing.
And usually these beautiful spirits, these souls, they have one thing in common, is that they know that they're here for something. They just know. They can't explain it, but they know there's more to life, and that they're here for a spiritual purpose. But again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you suddenly have to stand up, start doing talks and start feeling that you have to do all these things. When you start, all you have to do is listen and be aware of whether you're using your clairvoyance, or was it, what did we talk about last week? Clairsentience?
Yeah.
The angels will tell you when it's time to connect, because you will go quiet and you'll think, and just say a silent prayer. And that's all it takes. So the angels call these lovely spirits the silent ones. And they themselves are also the silent ones, because they connect telepathically, they speak telepathically, and that's how they talk to us, telepathically, putting messages and thoughts into our minds. So we're just going to, if anybody's any questions or any experiences of clairvoyance, let us know.
I'd love to know if anyone's got an imaginary friend, got an imaginary friend. I've got like several. But like, did you have an imaginary friend when you were younger? Tell us about your imaginary friend. And like, because I I always connected with the unicorn energies. I remember like very clearly in my mind having these conversations with like these unicorn beings, and they were my imaginary friends. But I know a lot of people that like actually had like a human imaginary friend. So let us know, you know, did that happen to you, and did you get kind of shut down from that? Because I always think that's quite an interesting conversation. If you've got an imaginary friend now, which is basically your angels and guides and spirit, just you can mention them as well. Shout out to Bob.
More often than not, your imaginary friends were your guides, and as you get older, we just put it down to imagination because we call them imaginary friends. But at the time when we were tiny and they were little, they were very real. So it's almost making yourself childlike again, and becoming open to all these things again. So we are going to talk for a couple of minutes about how to enhance, how to activate your clairvoyance. And the thing is, when we say activate, it's already there. It's already in place. Yeah. It's already working. But it's activating in the sense that you are the one who activates it, because you become aware.
So it's the same as healing, like, you know, all healing is self-healing ultimately, and all activation is activation of something that's already there, right? So I'm going to use the word enhance then. So how can we enhance clairvoyance? How can we become aware? What can we do to make it, to bring it forward? So we're going to go back to the M word because I find this, it is important, and that's meditation. So it's the ability to quieten your mind, to filter out all those thoughts and get yourself to that place. But I do know many people struggle. We've talked about this, is you know, it becomes that your working, our lives are busy. To sit, the thoughts sometimes are just sitting down for half an hour, light a candle, and it all becomes an even bigger chore. It becomes a bigger job because now I have to get incense, and now I have to close the curtains, and then as you go into this, sometimes it becomes impossible because there's too much expectation, and it's sack it, this doesn't work for me. So, but we don't need to do. If that works for you, that's amazing. But for many it doesn't. So, but there are different ways to meditate. So one way to meditate, I always go back to the old-fashioned washing up, even though many people have dishwashers. So something like doing the washing up is mundane and doesn't really require any thought. So what we tend to do while we're washing up is not focus on the washing up. That's the time when we start to daydream. So it's about using something like that and really thinking about, we talked about last week, is enjoy the soap, enjoy the feeling, enjoy the smells when you're washing up, quietening your mind, concentrate on what you're doing, and then try and get to the point where you become an automaton. You're just doing it. And at that point, you may only reach it for 10 seconds, but that's all it takes for them to slip in a message. So just quieten your mind. You can do it when you're working. It's just take 30 seconds out. It becomes a knack that we can slip in. I call it slipping in and out of consciousness because slipping into another world for a few seconds and just connecting. That's all it takes. If you can meditate, that's amazing, because for me meditation is relaxing, it's therapeutic, it just helps my breathing. In every way it's amazing, but it did take a long time to get to that point where I enjoyed it, because I've been there, you know, worked and thought I can't do this, and then I'd set myself a goal, and every time I set a goal I'd fail. Like, I'm going to meditate every day of the week, fat chance. I'm going to meditate 4 days a week, that's doable, no chance. 3 days a week, maybe, until the point I just thought I can't do this. I can now, but I knew there was a time when I was so busy. But 10 minutes, I did manage 10 minutes. And it's usually just as at bedtime, go in bed, you know, lie down, remove the thoughts. But yeah, so it is just about meditating and silencing your mind. But there's other ways you can enhance it. But everything everything is about discipline though as well.
Everything spiritually is about a spiritual discipline, yeah.
So it is like, you know, it is making it a discipline, literally. And how important is this to you? Like, do you want this? Do you know what I mean? Because, like, not, how do I say this? It's worth it.
It is worth it.
Like, it's beyond worth it. Yeah. And I'm not saying, like, obviously, you know, I'm still well in my journey, and I definitely don't meditate every day. But, like, there's definitely things that I do throughout the day that bring me. It's about going. It's all we always say that this all the time, isn't it? But it is about going within. Like, it's accessing that inner world. Right? Because that's what it is, and that's how Source speaks to us. That's how Spirit speaks to us. And it's creating practices to help you to go within, whatever that might look like for you. So there's so many different ways, you know, that we can go about this.
So quieting your mind and meditation is something that you can do mentally, but there are actually physical things that you can do to enhance your clairvoyance. So one of the things is, when we think about when we're looking at something, we're only using part of our eye. The rest of it may as well be white light because we're not using it. It's just a blur. But it's becoming consciously aware of, if we're looking front, what's happening at the sides. So we can train our eyes to see a lot more than they're actually seeing. It's becoming conscious. And very often, spirits... You can, you know, the shadows that come in the corner of your eyes, it is a trick, because they used to say, I don't know if it's still true, but people have said in the past that your third eye is actually the side of your eye.
Okay, I've not heard that before.
Yeah, because that's where spirits will just come and you'll say, did I see a shadow? That's why you always turn your head. What happened
Oh, yeah,
there?
and your peripheral
vision. I was struggling to find the word, the peripheral vision.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's becoming aware of what is happening, because people do, they turn their heads and do, what did I just see there? Or they just know something's behind the turn around. I just saw a shadow. So it's becoming aware of what's going on around you all the time. But otherwise, you know, people do see auras, and that's clairvoyance as well, because you're seeing it visually. So if you want to see auras, again, it's really looking at things intensely. So pick a flower and just look at the flower and just see all the patterns in the flowers. Look at any object. Really, even your own hand is... How often do you actually look at your hand, except when you've been gardening and it's filthy? But do you really look at all the lines and think, how amazing am I? You know, look at how everything works. So it's really in thinking about what all the things that are around you visually that you can see, appreciating it and really, really looking at everything. What colours do you see? Like, just have a look at what colours am I actually seeing. Even when you're out in the city, what colours are all the cars? You know, red one, green one. Without turning your head, just notice what's passing you.
Because it's clear seeing within, but it's also clear seeing without on the outside.
Yeah. One thing that we used to do in when we were teaching spiritual development for clairvoyance is different coloured cards. So cutting circles of different coloured card, placing it on top of a white card, and then taking it away. And for a split second, or for a few seconds, on the white card, you will see different colours. And just
remembering our spiritual group that we used to have, it was well good. And remember, like, when it was proper Blue Peter though, we like made our students like actually create their own circles and stuff, didn't we?
Let's cut out the circles.
Yeah.
They loved it. It was like teacher. They loved it.
Good.
But everybody was going, "Wow, look at that!"
I know,
because you see colours,
optical
auras. Yeah, it's amazing. But that, you know, doing things like that does improve your vision. But again, it's, you know, you will be seeing things physically and not really and missing it. Angels hide themselves in crowds, and so can spirit.
I think the biggest one with clairvoyance, and again, this is what I see in like the quantum hypnosis sessions and stuff, is like people, right, so angel, spirit, source, whatever, will be like projecting an image into your mind, like onto your third eye. And you'll be like resisting it, and you'll be going, am I making it up? And like, tell me what you see. Just tell me one detail and the rest will unfold, right? And that's what I always say to my clients. It's like, tell me one thing and then the rest will come. And it does, they'll start talking. And as they're talking, it like more and more is coming. And it's like a snowball effect. Because as they begin to trust in one thing, it's like a little dot. They'll start seeing a little bit and then it'll open and open and open and open. And they'll see more and more and more details. But that's the thing that, you know, people, they always sort of say in the beginning, it's like, I think I might be making it up. Like, no, just tell me what you see. Like, just tell me one thing, and then it'll just be sort of coming out of them. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, so, you know, it's like, yeah, you are making it. You've got to be okay with that. It's like the imagination is the bridge that spirit speaks to us through intuition. It's literally the bridge to intuition. So the more that you develop your imagination, the broader your perspective is, and the easier it is for you to receive information.
That's right. Doing things like painting.
Yeah.
I tell you what, something I discovered quite recently as well is going to an art gallery, and it's full, honestly. All the old pictures of people, the portraits. Go and just have a jolly good stare at them, and actually you'll start to see things you never knew were there before if you've been to galleries before. That's why art is amazing, because we can just look at it and see so many different things going on in that picture. I'm trying to think of anything. Is there anything you want to add to that? Just
the only thing that I would add is, like, you know, so like drawing light codes as well, as these come like more in the collective, like, you know, drawing the symbols, that, like, looking at visual art, right? So spiritual art, if you go on Pinterest and you put in like meditative art, spiritual art, light codes, right? The more that you look at these, it activates your clairvoyance. That's like the purpose of it. So the more that you look at those images, it's also, again, it's opening and expanding your third eye and your ability for clear seeing.
Mental mediumship is something that's slightly different from physical mediumship. So I have the ability to see spirits physically in person, as if they're really, well, they are really here, and also mental mediumship. So I practice both. So for a long time I was frightened of the physical, but it's not as rare as, you know, people, when we're doing readings, it's mostly mental mediumship. But actually, if you ask a random 50 people, have you ever seen a ghost? That's the question. Have you ever seen a ghost? I bet nearly every single one of them will say, well, I saw a shadow once, or I did see a ghost, or I saw a what. Yeah, I would say most of those people would say I saw something. So, and angels will show themselves in lights. So, you know, we can think about activating our clairvoyance and becoming aware that you may be seeing orbs already. You may be seeing flashes of light. The angels may be showing you things and you've completely ignored or just not understood what it's all about. So ask them. You know, in mediumship, when I'm doing readings, I might be shown an object. So I'm saying, oh, I can see a paintbrush. I can see a paintbrush, a decorating paintbrush. You know, and the person says, oh, I was painting today. So then it's putting it together. You know, why am I seeing a paintbrush? It will be the person's spirit that's here. And that's their way of saying, oh, I was with you when you were painting. Otherwise, how would they know? So it is literally focusing on all those thoughts, that, you know, pictures that are coming into your head. So if anyone's got any questions around that, then just let us know.
So Dawn just says, I'm more clairsentient and sometimes audient, but have only seen two spirits. So we talked about clairsentience last week. We're probably going to cover clairaudience next week. One, my dad's face, and the other, a gentleman sitting on a bench in the park. Discovered that the bench has his name on it. He was reading a book. Would love to rejoin a development class again. I don't think we're going to do something on a weekly basis like we did before, but we are definitely starting to plan a lot more in-person experiences and workshops. We've got a lot in the pipeline right now, so just keep your eye out, Dawn, on what we've
so these will all be around the things that we talk about, and it's all based on channeling, different ways to channel, and that's what it's all based on. So we'll be letting you know, because we're putting those together now. We're quite excited about it, really, aren't we, Amy? So do keep your eye on our pages and see what's going on with us.
I feel like people are more wanting to be in person now, again, more than ever, aren't they? Don't you think?
I do, yeah. So we are hoping to do more mind, body and spirit fairs. So we'll let you know when some are coming up. So if you're able to get to those and either book in a reading or just listen to our talks. So we'll let you know as well where we will be at those times. Usually it's Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah. Okay, so is that everything that you wanted to talk about for Clairvoyance?
Unless I missed something in which the angels will tell me off later, but I don't think so. But we can always, if something comes to me, we'll expand on it again next week.
Okay, so we'll be back here on Thursday at 5. You can always catch us on my Activation Amy YouTube channel. If you want to book in a quantum healing hypnosis session with myself, they are on offer till the end of May. What have you got going on, Mum?
Readings. I've got a couple of spaces this week for readings, so they're ongoing. So just message me through Messenger or email me. Just let me know if you would like to experience reading, which is a thing. If you would like to learn how to do Rider-Waite Tarot and do sittings and readings of your own, if that's my mediumship workshops. So definitely, if you would like an angelic Reiki healing, just message me as well. They're beautiful, they really are. The next workshop is the Masters level, so 21st, 22nd and 23rd of June. So that's level 3 and 4 Masters degree. So you will then be able to teach it for yourself. So I think we've got 1, 2 maybe spaces left, but the spaces have gone quite fast this time. And we only do the Masters level once a year. So if you are interested, don't hesitate, because it will be a while before we get round to doing another one. Okay?
All right, so I will see you all soon, hopefully next Thursday at 5. I've had a bit of a mental week this week, so we've had builders in, so it's been a bit all over the place, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been, yeah.
But good to see you all popping up. Have a beautiful weekend. Hopefully it's a bit sunny where you are, because it is here. Nice. Thank you. Yeah. All right then.
Okay.